All right. So the next property that we need to consider or we need to be aware of in systems is systems are dynamic. Token economy, or when you're building tokenomics and when you're engineering through the whole process, you have to understand that it's not that you create a token and then you just launch it, and that is the end of it, and it will always continue running like that. Uh, when we are talking about Web3 ecosystems, these are dynamic ecosystems. When I say dynamic, I basically mean that within the system, things change. And outside the system, which is the ecosystem that this marketplace of the Web3 ecosystem that it's running inside this marketplace, things are changing. And outside this marketplace, things are changing. New projects are coming up. They need integration with your project. Some projects are going well, some projects are not going well, some integrations are working well, some integrations are not working well. Rules around the ecosystem are changing in different other projects that you are talking to. And within even your own ecosystem, things are changing. And this is where token governance comes into place. We'll talk about that later. But you need to understand what are dynamic systems. And when we talk about dynamic systems, one of the most important things is a snapshot and multiple snapshots of time intervals. And when I talk about snapshots, I basically mean that within a period of time, you essentially take a snapshot of the system, and you analyze that data and you see how the token is performing. And one of the key reasons that we have a token or a tokenomics system being designed is to create an incentive and a disincentivize structure. We'll talk again about that in much detail, but using token systems, you want to control or you want to encourage good behavior of individuals within your system, and discourage bad behavior. And all this is defined on how you've designed your protocol. So you take different snapshots in time, and you understand those snapshots as to how your token is performing, as to how your users are performing, and as to how are the users using your tokens the way you intended the token to be used. Yeah, so it's important to understand, to take snapshots of different time slots, and each snapshot may give you a very different perspective and a very different picture. And that brings us to this point, which is basically around design and control. So as you take snapshots, as you see how your system is behaving, as you see how your tokenomics within the system is behaving, you need to then apply the control and other metrics to change if you want to change the behavior of individuals, or you want to change the behavior of how your system is working if you're not getting the right outcome. So you need to apply those corrections. It's like when you're driving a car or when you're flying an aircraft. You need to apply the right control mechanisms to make sure that you're going in the right direction. And wind changes, pressure changes, road condition changes, traffic changes. Lots can happen with the weather, and lots can happen within your own car, like any mechanical failure. So a lot of stuff happens when you're driving from point A to point B, and you continuously, as a driver, as a token engineer, you continuously need to apply those correct forces on your steering wheel to ensure that you are going in the right direction of what you intended to do. So some things are beyond your control, let's say out of your car, maybe the weather or the temperature or the road conditions. Those are parameters that are outside your vehicle. And those are things you can't control, but you can take an alternate route, or you can decide not to go on a particular road, or you can decide to stop for a little while, or you can decide to accelerate. These are the controls that you have in your control based on how the market or how your environment is changing around your particular Web3 project or around your ecosystem. So that was with dynamic systems, and I hope you understood that well. And with all of that and more in the next lesson.